you're talking like a year and a half of a story that, this was the way we can get to the finish line.
The elemental end of that
Right.
finish line, where the client gets a boatload of money or gets some type of injunctive relief.
We actually did not get the injunction, but we did settle the case. The client used the money to buy a building that and now he owns the restaurant in that building that I actually ate at last night.
I see the inspiration
Yeah.
from the trial lawyer, because that popped out of my head. And it's your grandfather. He's the patriarch, and the way he ran his table or his caucus of family. How did you create that direction? Why did you choose to become a lawyer? Was it arbitrary?
A little, yeah, it was, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And
Because you don't really know what it is to be a lawyer until you actually are,
So why'd you pick law? Why not medicine or architecture or engineer? There's a lot of great.
I didn't really have a ton of interest in that. I found the, like the materials for the LSTAT to be challenging and interesting.
So I'll tell you a little story about me, about how I decided to become a lawyer. I was actually not destined to be a lawyer at first sight in my life. I was on a very specific path in my life to become an anesthesiologist.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
And before that, a computer programmer, and before that, an engineer. And in my exploration of who I was, which was very difficult because at the time you're kind of going from high school to college, from college to law. I sat one time in a lunchroom of Hunter College, and I remember being lost. I went to Queens College first, and then I thought, okay, I got like a C- in like chemistry or something like that. I was like, okay, you know what? Or like bio. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Baruch College, because in Baruch College, chemistry is easier. So
Probably, yeah.
So I transferred to Baruch College, did horribly there as well. Went back from Baruch to Hunter College, and I was eating a sandwich, and I was like, I'm gonna pull out a hat, and I'm gonna decide what I want to do, because medicine's not working out for me. And I was doing well in my philosophy class. I don't know if you took a philosophy class. I really liked it. I was like, you know what? I got an A+ in philosophy. I'm gonna become a lawyer. So that's how I became a lawyer. I took that path, and obviously the rest is really history. But I was directionless too, in that regard. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, people see us now going up against the biggest and the baddest, and we really fit the mold of a lawyer. I think you're a great attorney, but we didn't rise to that path before. That path wasn't really paved for us, and that path was really explored arbitrarily. So let's get into your first job now. Still can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Fino, something like that.
Catafego Fini.
Catafego Fini.
The boutique firm, yeah.
The boutique firm.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the first days. You like to party?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Is it more like sports and chess, or more like drinking and girls?
All that. Yeah.
All that. Okay, that's good. So you were a little looser before?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
I want to know where tie me in to the tying in of Adam Sherman. Tell me about that. How were you tied in? Because I was loose too. And I'm kind of tied in. And I think my discipline of being tied in was through marriage, through this very serious field that we're in, which is law. It's very regimented and very kind of rule based. But tell me about the tying in of Adam. Tell me where that began to happen. Because it doesn't seem like law school did that.
No, not at all.
Or the judge.
No, not at all.
Or your family.
Not at all, no. No.
You were kind of loose, and then went poof.
Yeah, it's two segments, I would say. The first 4 years of, being a lawyer, I was given the opportunity to kind of work with a couple clients very closely.
In your first job.
Yes. So I was, I learned how kind of what clients try to do with the legal system.
Okay.
Their business objectives
Okay.
never aligns with litigation objectives, and that it's not I wouldn't call it a battle. That that journey that each client has on a case is something that I learned what a client really wants, which is not always told to you.
So you had experience in the dissertation of a client's business objectives and how those objectives don't at all line up with the litigation?
Correct. And kind of how to help them meet their business objectives through litigation.
Meet their business objectives through litigation. Expand on that.
So I was in contact with one, two, three, four clients almost on a daily basis, where I'm litigating thinking of this is what they want me to do, this having their goal in mind, not necessarily picking apart the other side's arguments. In other words, we're trying to get to a point through the legal system, but that's not where my first thoughts were.
Well, we're looking at, and I appreciate that, but we're looking at the tying in.
No, I'm getting there.
So what started happening? What started happening?
So I'm enjoying that process, and it's not what I thought a lawyer. It's not like you're watching Suits. I'm not reviewing documents all day. I was in court right away, thrown in right away, which I enjoyed.
Is that you're still loose here? You're still.
Mm-hmm.
So what begins to happen?
4 or 5 years in, I switch. The other partner begins to take an interest in training me, and that's when I became much more regimented. But
became where you were installed to be.
Installed to be, yeah.
And now you became.
Correct. It was a process.
Still loose.
It was a process.
So the first one that trained you, what was his name?
Jacques.
Jacques, and what was his training methods?
Unique. He had
edify that for
me. He has all the tools in terms of writing research, trial experience from prestigious places, etc. But his way of resolving cases was incredibly client focused.
Tell me about that.
To the extent where sometimes we would morph. He would call it morphing into the client. During let's say mediation or arbitration, settlement conferences, things like that. Really getting the client's voice out there.
Representing the voice of the client.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And were you loose there?
I think we were loose in the sense of that it wasn't staying up till midnight drafting briefs. It was we're not afraid to walk out of a mediation and instead go file a motion the next day.
So it's the creation of leverage.
Yeah.
The institution of leverage.
Yeah.
More theatrical.
Yes.
That some would consider not being a lawyer.
Yeah, it's not what it's not the the Suits way from that show.
Mm-hmm. Although I probably would argue that maybe because Suits is a lot of negotiation.
Yeah, that's in terms of you're not in a room typing all day.
Right. Right. So the leverage is the cartilage inside the legs.
You can say that. It was we were leading with those type of maneuvers, and then the writing was
secondary.
Secondary, yes.
It's very interesting, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. I'm going to get into that in just a second. So you're still loose.
Mm-hmm.
You got your first job. How long were you under the tutelage of Jacques?
About 4 years. Still
Still loose, not strict.
Yeah, I mean, it's tightening, but it's still
What's tightening?
my mindset is tightening.
What's the mindset?
You know,
What was the mindset before? What was the mindset after?
I was happy to come in on a Sunday and draft an emergency motion because we were looking to get a TRO that I was so closely intertwined with that it was like something that I had to do.
The drive.
Yeah, like I had to do it. Yeah.
Why?
You're talking like a year and a half of a story that, you know, this was the way we can get to the finish line.
The elemental end of that
Right.
finish line, where the client gets a boatload of money or gets some type of injunctive relief.
We actually did not get the injunction, but we did settle the case, and we used the money the client used the money to buy a building that and now he owns the restaurant in that building that I actually ate at last night.
Did you actually make some clients?
A couple, yes.
Good. So let's talk about the tightening.
Mhm.
Tell me when that began.
4 or 5 years in, it was kind of, I didn't, you know, you don't come out of law school. You're never going to come out of law school and be a good writer. I mean, you may have,
Instinct.
yeah, you may have instinct. You may have certain training that you had in college or law school that gave you inclinations, but you don't really know how to construct a good document out of school.
And where'd you learn how to do that?
From the partner,
Which one?
Tom. Tom was his name.
Tom. And where was Tom from?
He was from, you know, some of the biggest. He always told me that, you know, he was trained at Skadden and he worked at Skadden.
Right.
You know.
Was that impressive to you?
No, because I really wasn't one of those people that was even really familiar with the biggest law firms in the country, but it grew on me as you know, it went on.
So talk to me about the tightening. Explain that.
As he reviewed my work, he would tear it to shreds, sometimes literally. And I was kind of blown away by how he would approach writing a brief. It was totally foreign to me about, you know, the level of detail that he wanted to achieve in almost every document he was drafting.
Inform me why that is a good way to practice or not.
In certain circumstances, I think it's good.
Edify that.
You know, if you have a case where you really need to look at every single, like a Rubik's Cube, like every angle to try to get the correct set that will, you know, win you the case. 1000% that's the way.
but nevertheless, you became tightened.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. I really, we achieved things that I did not think we'd be able to.
And for those reasons, you've tightened?
Yes.
And what does tightening mean to you?
If things aren't written in that, or it's also organization is, you know, I think the total difference maker. And how you present an argument can win or lose you a brief.
Seems like a tale of two cities almost, or a tale of two tales. One is
I mean, look, we got good results using both methods, and now I try to combine them both.
well, if you're making a coffee, and those are the two methods,
Mhm.
and coffee is the first method, which is Jacques, and the second method, which is Tom. What is it, 55, 65, 70, 30? Used to be then. What was it then?
Well, when you're working with them, it's kind of it's 100-0.
But what do you value more?
Oh, what do I value?
The loose or the tight?
I would say
Gun to your head, what would you say?
I'm 70-30. With
70
tight,
what?
Tight.
Tight 70, huh?
Yes.
30 loose.
Yes.
Why?
Only because there were so many moments where I thought we were going to lose, where we wound up not only not losing, wound up winning.
So as a consequence of being tighter in your writing,
Yes.
tighter in your preparation,
Yes.
tighter in understanding the judges and understanding the clients also.
Yes. But I will say this, my personal enjoyment plummeted doing that. Yeah.
Why is that?
It's incredible. It was incredibly difficult.
Daunting.
incredibly difficult.
What is the it that you're discussing?
Getting to that level of detail, the nuance arguments is just it takes so much time to get used to that, thinking that way.
Do you think clients complain about their bills?
Oh, for sure.
But you tell them you'd win.
We presented in a way that explains why we think we can get there. So in terms of, it's not just 1 + 1 is 2. It's like 1 + 1 divided by X, square root of this gets you to whatever number you need.
Do you appreciate the training?
Looking back, yes.
Why is that?
Because if I didn't have that, I don't think I would be as good of a lawyer as I believe I am today.
And why do you believe that you're such a great lawyer?
I didn't say that. But we have success here at Jacobs P.C. and in part of that, I've used techniques that I was taught there. Employed them here.
Well, now you work at Jacobs P.C. and you're a partner at Jacobs P.C.
Yes.
The ascension is pretty admirable. What have you learned different here, if anything?
We have our own way that is kind of like a combination of both. But I wouldn't say it's 50-50 or 60-40. It's constantly, shifting based on what leverage we want in the cases.
How do we use the law?
Well, here's the other thing. Here, I'll give you an example. If I was, before I started here, if I'm on a case where, it's a breach of contract and when you first reading it, you're like, oh, they didn't pay the contract. Most commercial litigators are thinking, okay, well, what can I really do for the client here? That's not the case here.
What's the case here?
You're looking at, well, wait a second.
How can we leverage this?
Yeah. Can we file bankruptcy? Can we move to dismiss and then talk to the client about filing bankruptcy?
Can we do a 5240?
So also post-judgment remedies, which is something that I would say 98% of commercial litigators just do not know. They think that when the judgment hits, the case is over or they've done their job.
And we're in the beginning of that, not in the ending.
Yeah, we just go, okay, now that here's our next recommendation. It's not, goodbye.